abilities that even normal human beings don't have. So we want to encourage parents to stop. And by how can we stop that is by recognizing the role of PWDs as parliament, as was envisaged in this conference. So if as leaders we recognize the uniqueness of people living with disability, as a parliament we take the lead. And you know, leadership as leadership are dealers of hope. We must give hope to the people, Madam Speaker. And this disability truncates many things, Madam Speaker. And we want to appeal that as a country, we have the Disability Act, and I want to thank former Vice President Angomudi Owar, because he was the pioneer of prison reforms and also the Disability Act of 2003 that gave birth to Article 54. And Madam Speaker, Kenyans should not know that we are not discussing this report about parliament recognition. Under Article 54 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, people living with disability have been recognized. And in fact, 54.2 says that there shall be progressive implementation principle. At least 5% of members of the public in elective and appointive bodies are persons with disability. Madam Speaker, I want to appeal that we must do legislative audit. Because I can tell you, I have sat in Public Accounts Committee, and you are a member of Public Accounts Committee. All counties, including your county, Isiolo, have failed to meet the threshold of appointive positions of people living with disability. Even Kisii, even Omabe, even Nandi, Madam Speaker, and many other counties, including Muranga, they have failed in terms of Article 54.2 to meet the threshold that the Constitution has set. And I think as a House, this is a progressive implementation. Let us not even talk about the elective. Madam Speaker, because we need also to encourage Kenyans. It is 1 year to general election, Madam Speaker. We need to encourage Kenyans to elect people living differently able, because they are also leaders. We have Senator Mbugua, Madam Speaker, who is specially elected. We have Senator Crystal Asige, who is specially elected, Madam Speaker. These are disabilities that we can see. And I hope Kenyan Senator Onyonga, as they go for election, we must ensure we have a way of ensuring people living with disability have an opportunity to serve, Madam Speaker, in different capacities, even they are living with disability, Madam Speaker. I'm not talking about disabilities in bedrooms, but I'm saying disabilities that are known, that can be seen. Madam Speaker, I want to challenge people living with disability. Under the Act, we must ensure people living with disability are able to access the IDs. I normally, Madam Speaker, you are a politician. Whenever we walk, you meet somebody living with disability. Like there was an Arambe for Chapter 8 Women's Star on Sunday afternoon in Mosoria Township, and I met one of the disabled people using a wheelchair, and they have not been given an ID card by people living with disability council, Madam Speaker. I want people living with disability to have their offices as lowest as the sub-location, the chief's level, so that our people can access the PWD card to allow them to get tax exemption, to allow them to get services, to allow them to be given priority. And I'm happy, Madam Speaker, even here in the Senate, even the design of the parliament, because we are discussing and even government buildings, it is so sad, Madam Speaker. And I remember when we visited the county headquarters where we were locked out in Isiolo, you were part of us. If you look at the design of that building, we noticed in the design there was no provision of access of ramps of people living with disability. And it is a sorry state in most of the government buildings that we don't have proper design to accommodate people living with disability. So I want to appeal to Kenyans that even people living with disability, I'm told there are quite a number. We used to have Mheshimiwa Sangok, the specially elect of Yala. He was with us. There are a number of Dr. Musuruve, who was a member, who was specially elected in the last session, Madam Speaker, and a number of our colleagues we have recognized. I think we should not leave the people living with disability to the mercy, to the philanthropy of our political parties for them to get to the office. Madam Speaker, especially coming. And this we will be doing in Article 54.2, the issue of persons of rights with disability, CRPD, protocol to the African Charter on Human Rights and Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is well captured, Madam Speaker, in this report. And also, I want to appeal, because Article 54 recognizes the Braille sign language as a national language apart from English, Kiswahili, and sign language as Braille. Madam Speaker, they should be recognized with this. And Madam Speaker, we must also ask IEBC to come up with modalities on how people who are people living with disability can campaign can't participate in an electoral process. I'm saying this aware that yesterday there were heightened exchange of very not unpalatable words across the spectrum of this country, Madam Speaker. We saw yesterday, the last 2 days, there have been insults, demeaning, exchange of words, Madam Speaker, from the senior leadership of this country. And I hope as we go into the future, we should not, Madam Speaker, at least see that again, Madam Speaker, because, you know, we are a country. Our children watch all of us. Madam Speaker, we must ensure that our language, which we engage, are decent, Madam Speaker. And you know, Madam Speaker, somebody was asking, why did the president react? It's because, Madam Speaker, in one of our colleagues' funeral service, mother, Senator Garungo Thangwa's mother, and we wish Senator Garungo Thangwa all the best, and we pray for him because he lost the mother a few days ago, and the burial was on Monday. And the person who started insulting everybody